Welcome to Life Biz and Goals. I'm Latanya Sass, and I am so excited you are joining us today. My wonderful guest today is the amazing Joyce Antonetty. It is truly a pleasure and honor to have her on the podcast. I've known Joyce for a very long time, since middle school. We go back like sliced bread. So Joyce, along with her husband, they own their own health and wellness business. And I just love their story of how they met and what made them become health and wellness entrepreneurs. So, amazing friends, please welcome Joyce Antonetti to the podcast.
Oh, yay. Woo.
Okay,
Thank you, Latoniga. It's really nice to be here.
thank you. I so appreciate you joining me. And so tell us a little bit about yourself, just in general, before we get into the health and wellness, just so they'll know a little bit about who Joyce is.
I am a mother of three, a grandmother of two, and I am surrounded by everything dealing with health. I'm actually running that business as well, trained for living, and also working at Trident Technical College as a wellness coordinator in the wellness center. But I am just really excited to represent entrepreneurs in this podcast today because it has been a journey, let me tell you. We've been in business now for 6 years, which I think is a huge success. Most people don't last that long. It's a really, really struggle sometimes, but I'm really happy that we're still here and changing people's lives.
That is wonderful. What inspired you to start your own health and wellness business? Was there a personal experience that led you down this path? What was your why? Why did you decide that this was the path that you wanted to go to in entrepreneurship?
That's a great question. My daughter was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes when she was 7. We had an incident where her blood sugar dropped really suddenly while we were in Walmart.
Mm,
She had a seizure and was on her way down to the floor. And
wow.
I was like, I've got to catch her. What you don't realize is dead weight is pretty heavy. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need to get stronger. So I went and I started really focusing on my own health and to set an example for her, but also so that I could take care of her better. So what happened was I literally was looking through a magazine one day and saw the fitness specialist program being featured at Trident Tech. So I went to the little info session, ended up going to school for a year and a half while I was working full time, and really learned everything there was about being a personal trainer and being able to help other people. So that's really how it started.
Mhm.
Um, and now it's flourished into being able to help people with a lot of different conditions. And then while I was there studying, my husband was also with his own wife.
Okay.
Um, and we met and we were put on a project together, and then we fell in love, and the rest is history.
I just love that story, how you guys just kind of came together,
Yeah,
and created this wonderful entrepreneur business. And you took both of your passions and, it was kind of like a God connection,
it
So,
absolutely was. Yeah.
yeah. So that's great. I mean, how often do you go to school for something, that you end up being passionate about and then you meet the love of your life? So
Absolutely.
that's wonderful. That is wonderful. So, when you did realize that health and wellness was more than a passion and it could be a business, when did you realize that? I'm sorry. When did you realize that?
So that is a really great story here. So we decided after we graduated, we're going to go into the world, in the fitness world, and we're going to change lives one at a time, working for someone else. What you find is that is not necessarily the best way to really impact people, because the business owners have their own agenda and it may not fit with what your beliefs or value system is. So what we decided was, you know what, we found a need for uh, helping people in their own space. A lot of people don't like to go to the gym.
Yeah.
Shocker. So we said, let's bring the gym to them. And so that's what we do is we go to clients' homes, we provide equipment, and we provide programming and encouragement and accountability. So that is how we started. We just found a need and we filled it, is what I like to say. And it's been reasonably successful, I must say.
Wonderful, wonderful. And that's the best thing is that finding that need. I think a lot of people struggle with that, trying to find that niche. What
Yeah.
makes me uniquely different from everyone else? What
Right.
makes me stand out from everyone else? And a lot of times it's actually in front of you. You just miss it a lot because you're thinking about what everybody else is doing and not
Yeah.
coming back to think about, well, what do I need? What will work?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
huge thing is the comparison problem. We tend to do this even if it's not even business. Like as people, we
Right.
tend to compare ourselves to other people, and we're not really seeing the real thing. Like
Right.
what is it's supposed to be in front of us, and we are looking over here, looking over there. And that's the hardest part is to target and focus on what you need to be focusing on.
Exactly. Exactly. So, what is your target audience when you decided we want to be unique? We're going to do this unique thing. We're going into people's homes. Is it just we're just going into any and everybody's homes, or is there a uniqueness about your health and wellness business that kind of stands out from others?
So that is it's changed over time. We originally thought we were going to help specific people, and what happens is you become what. First of all, you attract certain people, and it ends up being what you really do focus on. So for me, women over 40, busy professionals is my target market. We have specific needs, specific fitness needs as we're going through life changes, um, socially, physically, emotionally. So that's what my focus is. Whereas my husband, Ricardo, is a Marine veteran, and so his focus is on helping veterans that have lost that sense of purpose and might have those invisible wounds from emotional stress and using fitness to overcome those. So we both have a little bit of a different focus on who we help, but that's our primary goal is to find the people that really need us the most. And honestly, I've had to turn people away because they don't really fit. That's just our level of integrity is like I don't think I can help you the way that you need to be helped, and so I'm going to refer you to somebody else. And I think that's a really important thing to say
It is.
because a lot of people are just like, I'm going to make money. I need to
Right.
help this person, but you're not the right fit. Then
Right.
that's
It's
what you
not
got
going to
to
be good for either one of us.
exactly
Mhm.
exactly.
Yeah.
So while we have different focuses, we really do we help a number of people, but we also are very particular about who we help and make sure that it's the right fit.
That's wonderful. One of the main things that I love that you said that so many new entrepreneurs or people who want to get into entrepreneurship struggle with is realizing that sometimes your path may change. The key
Right.
is to just get started. So many people are like, I don't have it all together. It's not perfect. And this thing and
Mm.
the other. It doesn't need to be perfect. You just need to get
Yeah.
started. And then as you get started, the right path, the right, journey path will follow you. You will realize who you need to connect with, who works for you, and it will work out that way. There's so many avenues that definitely you can go into with wellness, health and wellness, but
Yeah.
you and your husband realize the perfect fit for you, for your business. And I love that. I love that. um
That is huge because I don't think there's ever a time that's perfect. I
right.
remember even before having children, I remember saying, "Oh, I don't want to have kids until this is right and this is right and this is right." Guess what? There is never a right time. You literally have to take action, whether it's that, having kids, getting married, whatever. But with business, it's really essential to take action as soon as you think about it,
Right.
honestly. You're
Right.
gonna sit there and do that thinking thing. I'm just thinking about this or whatever, and it's never gonna come to fruition.
Right.
So really important. Good point.
That's right. Right. And time, we don't have time on our side.
That's
So,
right.
you got a lot of people who, especially at our age,
Yes,
we got to jump in there and do what we need to do, to
absolutely.
fulfill our dreams and goals, because for some of us, working for somebody or being in corporate America, it gets old after a while.
Yeah,
And then you're like, well, what am I doing with my life? I'm
yeah,
just, I'm not happy. I'm not happy. So many people talk about they're not happy, but what are you doing to change that? And like you
exactly.
said, when it comes into your heart and your mind, that's when it's time to move. And even if you got to take baby steps,
Yep,
you mentioned that you went back to school because you didn't know a lot about the health and wellness field and
yeah.
everything, and I'm pretty sure during that time you probably had a lot going on in your life, you know
Absolutely. I was working full time. I was a single mom at the time, and then I had two kids that were growing and very active, sports and music and everything like that. So I didn't know how I was going to fit that in. But you know what? I was so passionate about it that I said, this is an opportunity I cannot miss. And, my job actually they helped. They were like, okay, that's fine as long as you can get your work done.
yeah,
I was working for the federal government at that time.
okay,
Not a happy job, and that's also what fueled it. Was like, wow, I am really unhappy, and I've got to get out of this situation. So that's literally what it is. Is you have to take action and just take that leap of faith. That's what it's all about.
I love it. I love it. And through all of that, I am pretty sure that you had many challenges that came along. Can you talk about some of those challenges and how you got through it? Just to, kind of inspire some of our future entrepreneurs, or those who are at the beginning, or even some that are in the middle, that they're struggling to stay with it, because you guys have been doing this for 6 years, which,
Right.
like you said before, that's amazing, because a
Yeah.
lot of businesses, they don't last past the first year because people don't stick with it, you know.
Yes.
So, yeah, give us a little bit about your challenges.
So the first thing that you have to become a master of is time management. Time is going to come and go. I mean, like you mentioned, like we don't have a lot of time on this earth.
Right.
Um, so you have to be a master at time management. I have a printed calendar. I have um, a calendar on my phone, and then I have other calendars that I have on my calendar. You have to really master time management and show up for yourself.
Yes.
Um, that's the same with fitness too, by the way. Like people are always saying, I don't have time. I don't have time. You don't have time to not take care of yourself. So
Right.
that just means you're going to end up in the hospital. And who wants that?
Right.
So when you're running a business, time is got to be managed first and foremost, and then prioritizing. The challenge with that is that you're going to be pulled in all kinds of directions. So you really have to think about what is the most important thing I have to get done today for my business, and
Yeah.
then you have to implement that. Um, I had a variety of challenges because like I said, I was working full time, and then I also had kids, and then I also had a part-time job at the same time because I've never had only just one job at a time. And then school was full-time as well. So that was where time management became very, very important to make sure that I wasn't missing out on anything. And then also asking for help. Never underestimate the power of asking for help.
You know.
You cannot do it all, and nobody expects you to do it all.
Right.
So that's really essential. Finding people that will help you, um, and also having people in your corner that are going to be positive and uplifting and encouraging. There are so many naysayers out there, and it's gotten worse over the last decade with social media and people being negative. Having positive people around you and not listening to the negativity is
Right.
essential.
Right.
So I think those are the top three things to overcome any challenges that come your way:
Yeah.
time management, prioritizing, and then having positive surroundings.
I totally agree. I,
Yeah,
I tell people all the time, you can't share your dreams with everybody. Be
that's
careful
right.
who you share what you want to do with, because everybody's not in your corner. Everybody
Yep,
doesn't understand, because some
right.
people look at, they're not brave enough to jump out and do the entrepreneur thing. Being an entrepreneur is a a brave act. It's a courageous act. You have to have the courage to do it.
Yes.
And especially when you want to do it well. And everybody
Right.
doesn't have that. And sometimes people will discourage you. They'll try to put their feelings and their emotions on you to keep you from moving forward. So we definitely have
Yes.
to guard our dreams. It's sad, but we have to guard our dreams.
We
You
do.
know, you have to guard your heart and your mind and your dreams.
Yeah. That's right.
And
That's
definitely,
absolutely right.
yeah, and then definitely, I totally agree. I'm a project manager, program manager in corporate. So we always have a plan. I live
Yes.
by a plan, an action plan, a day by day plan. Sometimes
Right.
everything on a plan does not get accomplished and I have to move it to the next day. But
Yes.
you gotta have that plan. I think
Yep.
sometimes the reason why some entrepreneurs fail is because they're just winging it. That doesn't work for everybody.
Yeah.
That only works for probably about 2% of the population that can wing stuff. Most people, they need
Yeah.
to write it down, plan it out so that they can stay focused, and that's the biggest
Absolutely.
thing too, because I'm pretty sure on this entrepreneur journey, you constantly having distractions, things that pop up, getting sick or the car breaking down or something going, anything could pop up and now you're like, oh my god, but you cannot afford to put your dream to the side. You just have to work through it. So have you ever any situations or issues where you're working this business, you and your husband, you're working this business, but you really have stress of life because you got these challenges over here that are trying to derail you? Even for people who haven't got started, but they have that dream and they want to actually do something, the distraction will come and derail
Oh,
them before they even get started. And they lose focus off the prize or their goal because now they're focusing 95% of their time and putting all their energy on this challenge that's happening. And sometimes you may have to do that, but
yes.
a lot of times you need to come back and regroup and or figure out a way to work around those challenges. So have you had any type of situations where it has tried to derail you off what your goal is or what your business is, what you're looking at and what you want to do in life as far as health and wellness?
So that is so apropos to fitness itself. We often we know that we need to eat right and exercise. That's really the whole key to fitness. But then you get derailed because you know what? Maybe I'm going to try intermittent fasting. That's going to be the thing. Oh, look at this shiny thing over here. I need to get this piece of cardio equipment to have in my house. Or guess what? And it's the same thing with your business, like shiny things, or like, oh, this is the new trend. This is going to change my life, or whatever. Same thing with entrepreneurship. So currently, my husband's mom is in hospice care at home. So he is her primary caregiver. That takes up a lot of time and energy,
Yeah.
but we still have to make money. So it's like we're going to work around it. We have to find a workaround. We have to pivot. And that happened with me, like this opportunity to run the wellness center at the college. Guess what? That's taken up 40 hours a week. What am I going to do with my business? So we're like, okay, this is good, but we've got to find how we're going to work around it. So that's literally resilience and flexibility is essential for entrepreneurs because there's going to be constant things coming at you.
Yeah.
And you have to say, is this important? Again, it comes back to priorities. How important is this? Do I actually have to do this?
Yeah.
How is this going to impact my life? You literally have to have those internal conversations. And so whenever you do that, that will reveal where your priorities are. Like literally, am I going to do this or not? And you don't want to live with regret. So you have to make the right decision on that. A lot of times, something is a decision that's made for you where I have got to pay this bill. I have got to have money. And so I have to do this work. And that's just what it breaks down to a lot of the time. Other times it's like, is this going to serve my business? Um, no, probably isn't. So I need to focus on what, and having a plan always helps. If you have that in front of you, a vision board, or even if you just like take a dry erase marker and write an affirmation on your mirror,
Yeah.
having that focus in front of you is really going to help make the right decisions.
Right. And
Yeah.
one of the main things you talked about was pivot. Um, because sometimes that action plan or
Yeah.
that vision has to change a little bit or has to be
Hmm.
tweaked,
Yeah.
because of life circumstances. I remember having to take care of my mom, when my dad passed all of a sudden. We weren't expecting that. We're
Right.
thinking our folks are gonna live forever, but not really. But you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Still,
Yeah. No, we do.
we're still kind of young here, so
Absolutely.
I didn't think that was going to come along. And
Mm-mm.
I was in the process of writing my children's book, and I had to kind of regroup. And I was working a full-time job in corporate America as a
Yeah.
manager, very demanding. The thing is, the blessing was that I was able to work remotely. So, and then I
Yeah.
lived in Charlotte, and my
Right.
mom's in Charleston, and my dad was like,
Right.
promise me that you'll always keep her in her house. And so my brother had to travel back and forth, I had to travel back and forth. We're dealing with caregivers and stuff, and it's a lot. It was a
It
lot,
is.
but I had to stay focused even in,
Mm-hmm.
writing my book. It took, my pace slowed down because it took a little longer, but
Yeah.
it, at the end of the day, it got written and it got published. So I
Yes.
was glad for that. And I think that those life challenges kind of helped me along the way with encouraging and inspiring other people that you can do this. You can do this.
Absolutely.
Life happens. Life be lifing. You know what I'm saying? And we
Yes, it does.
we
Yes,
can't
it
always
does.
help life be lifing, but we just have to keep running with it. So
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah. So
It's going to happen whether you want it to or not. So you have to like say, this is the path I'm taking, and nothing's going to stop me. You really
right,
have to have that fortitude.
exactly, exactly. It took me 14 years to write that book, because so much kept on happening. I got,
Yeah.
I would have people that started being, with the children's book, you got to have an illustrator. So I had
Yes.
people who started off an illustrator and then they quit in the middle. Because
Oh,
they had life circumstances, So, and then I ended up having a family member. He was going to illustrate the book. He illustrated a whole book in black and white, and he was like, he was going to go back and add color. Well,
really?
midst of that, his apartment floods, destroys all the pictures and everything. Yes.
Oh,
And we had all these
God.
meetings, work through this, walk through the characters and everything. And I was like, oh my God, is this ever going to happen? Like we're starting again. And
Yeah.
then by then, I had a hard time finding a reliable children's illustrator. And then
Hmm.
someone recommended a friend's daughter who was in college.
Okay.
And she and I had a long conversation. I'm like, is this something that you really want to do? I'm going to pay you, of course, because, college kids, they be needing that money. But
Yes.
are you going to stay committed? And she was on top of her game. She did a wonderful job. I loved everything that she did. Got a lot of kudos. She produced a very beautiful product along with me. But the fact is, going back to it, I had to keep enduring, just like
Right.
you had to keep enduring,
Right.
through these challenges. It's a lot taking care of family and stuff, but
Yeah.
but we got to do what we got to do. So
Yeah.
I definitely admonish you for that.
Thanks. And you've done incredible. I mean, you just said it took you 14 years, and I'm thinking that's 14 years faster than I did mine. Because I haven't done that, and people don't understand the story behind the story.
Right.
People don't understand what you put into it, and that makes it all so much more special whenever it's a finished product at the end, and you're like, I did this. So
Yes.
you need to be commended on achieving that. That is
Thank
huge.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. So how do your cores and your core values and your mission line up with your personal beliefs for your clients and your business?
So first and foremost, we're really strong with integrity. We're going to do what we say we're going to do, and we expect that from other people.
Okay.
Um, that's a really big thing in fitness because I can tell you what to do all day, and you probably already know what to do. Like I was saying, it's really not very complicated. It's literally eat right and exercise if you want to
Right.
break it down.
Right.
Calories in, calories out, all of that. Those are very, very um, just platitudes that you hear all the time, but that's what it's about. And people really need the accountability side. And so that's why it's really important that we do what we say we're going to do and do the right things, even when no one's looking. Um, that's really, really huge. So integrity and honesty in life as well as in our business is huge.
So how do you encourage
Um,
clients? I'm sorry to interrupt
yeah,
you. So
no, you're good.
how do you encourage your clients with, I know you can't force anyone to do the right thing when no one is looking, but how do you keep your clients encouraged? Because a lot of times when people are struggling with eating properly, exercising and things of that nature, it's usually they need accountability. And I
Yeah.
know you being there is the accountability partner, which is great. So how do you encourage them to motivate them to keep pushing forward every day?
Excuse me. The ease, not easy, but learning, we really get to know our people. Whenever we take on a client, we first basically like a motivational interview is what that's called, and finding out why they want to achieve the goal that they're pursuing. A lot of people think it's just about weight loss, but some people want to get stronger. Some people want to be confident. Some people may have an event that they're getting ready to attend and they want to look right in their dress or in their clothes. So there's a variety of different goals, but finding out what that goal is, finding out why, again, just like you asked me at the beginning, what was your why for getting started?
Yeah.
That's what we do is we find out why is it, because it might be something really deep seated, or they might have a clouded vision of what is going to take or what they really want. You
Yeah.
have to really dig deep. So once you find that out, that's what you bring up anytime someone is having that self-doubt. So let's say they're like, I really don't feel like working out today. And I'm like, well, here was your goal. And guess what? You're not going to reach your goal by not working out today. So let's just do a little bit of it.
Yeah.
Okay. And once you get into it, then guess what? You're going to feel good. And that's what it is. It's that just encouragement,
Yeah.
focusing on their why. And that's the same thing with entrepreneurs. Again, are you going to be able to pay your electric bill if you don't do this task today? So that's really where it comes from. It's like finding out the reason why, pinpointing it down, and making sure you're reiterating it to achieve whatever it is you need to achieve.
Yeah. The
That's
discipline.
really it in a nutshell.
Yeah. Right. Pushing the discipline. Because a lot of us,
Yeah,
doesn't matter what area in our life, we struggle with discipline, being disciplined and
discipline.
being consistent. I have my
Yes,
own my own struggles, that I fight through for being disciplined and being consistent. So,
yes,
when you were talking, you were talking about how you encouraged the client and everything. It kind of made me think about in correlation to the body that you got to warm up the mind first. You know how you warm up the body,
absolutely.
you got to warm up the mind. So someone who's
Yeah.
struggling that day and they're like, I just don't want to do it today. I don't feel like it. You're there helping to warm up that mind. Once they start getting that mind heated up and warm, well, okay, yeah, I'll do a few of the little reps or whatever. And then you get them
Right.
moving and then they're like, okay, well, look, let's keep going, girl, you got it, whatever.
Exactly. I say that all the time when I'm teaching fitness classes. That is the first thing, obviously you want a dynamic warm up whenever you're getting ready to do some hard stuff. And that's literally what I say is, okay, you guys, we're getting our mindset in this warm up. You've got to prepare your mind as well as your body in order to do well.
Yeah.
So let's get it done. Yeah,
Yeah.
mindset's everything. Mindset is everything.
Yeah. That's wonderful. Now, with everything that you guys have done with your business, and even in life, because your business is a part of your life. It is. It does not define who you are, but
Right.
it plays a major part in your life. What are some of the surprises or rewards or rewarding moments that you have experienced as an entrepreneur on this journey?
One of the best things that's really our payoff is when someone actually succeeds at achieving their goal. Having helped somebody achieve their goal is there's nothing like it. That's the reason we're in business. So having people come to you and say, "You changed my life."
Mm,
Oh, that's leaving a legacy. Like
yeah.
that's how you stay alive whenever you're gone. Is
Yeah.
somebody saying to you, "I would never be here if it weren't for you." That's our biggest compliment. That's in life and in business. So that's happened in business as well as just being one of those game changers. Um, so another great thing business wise is just being recognized in your community. We during the pandemic, somebody reached out to us, somebody that we both know actually that we went to high school with, is working for a major telecommunications company that has a call center here, and they reached out to us in August of 2020 and asked us to provide training for the children of the people that were working from home. It
Okay.
was like, what? That is awesome that you even thought of us.
Yeah.
So we did, and we provided. It was so great. We impacted so many little kids because basically people were working from home. Their
Yeah.
kids are also at home,
Right.
and they were like, "We got to do something with the kids." So we did remote personal training for the kids. It was really fun.
That's good.
Um, but that being considered
Hmm.
was a reward. Like,
Yeah.
wow, people are really looking at what we're doing. So things like that, just being recognized in the community. We do a lot of not necessarily charitable events, but things that involve fitness or wellness, um, but also benefit, an
Yeah.
organization. So, like the Push Up and Up Challenge, that was a big one. But when people say, "Oh, you know what? Who will do that?" That'll be trained for living. So just having that's a huge reward. People knowing our values and using us to promote whatever it is that they're doing because it aligns with theirs. That I think is also just a real exciting thing,
Oh yeah.
a great reward.
That's great. Um, so speaking of 2020, a
Hmm.
lot of people had to go online and work remotely and this thing and the
Yes,
other. So do you guys do online or is strictly being in the home?
absolutely. That is actually we had a pivot. So we were doing all in home. And so we had to pivot quickly. And so Zoom became a huge boon for us. And then we decided let's also incorporate our app. So we have an app that provides the programming and the accountability too, because we can see daily you're tracking your food, you're tracking your movement. So that became a really big thing to where now we do more of the online and app related fitness than we do in home. And in home is kind of a specialty thing.
Okay.
So, yeah, that was a huge move that had to be made immediately,
Yeah.
March 16th, as a matter of fact. So, yeah, and it proved to be very beneficial because now we have a little bit more freedom in our business because we can do that anywhere
Right.
and we can reach globally, you
Yeah.
know. So that's huge.
I love how you guys continue to grow, how you continue to pivot whenever you need to pivot, regroup. A lot of times I use the word regroup whenever
Yes.
you need to, regroup depending on the situation or where you're
Hmm.
at in life. But once again, I reiterate to my amazing friends out there is that they still haven't quit. They
Right.
continue to move and go with the flow of where life is taking them on a journey, however they need to, and we
Yeah.
have to be flexible in this business,
Yes.
as entrepreneurs. We will make mistakes along the way. I'm pretty sure you've made mistakes along the way that you're like,
A
oh my
lot. A lot of mistakes. And you know what? If you haven't read Failing Forward, um, who is that gentleman? Can't think of him right now, but that is a great book because if you're not failing, then you're not doing anything.
God.
That's the whole thing is you got to fail forward to success.
Yeah,
You've got to try things. And if you try them and you find out, guess what? You've learned something.
right.
Be a lifelong learner. That's a huge thing that I love to do. I mean, I've been in school. I'm still in school. Like
Yeah,
I've been in school like basically my whole life because I just want to learn everything. I
right.
want all the knowledge. And then that's really the best way to learn is to just
Mhm.
try something. If it doesn't work, guess what? You've learned it doesn't work.
Right.
So that's
For
what,
you.
yeah, yeah. You got
Mhm.
to keep trying things. And not like you said before, not everybody is cut out for this,
Right.
you know?
Right.
So you'll find out.
Yeah, you
But you
will
don't
find
know until you try.
until you try. You got to try. You
Yeah.
know, I remember hearing Miles Monroe say that there are a lot of um, authors who never published. There are a lot of entrepreneurs who never
Mhm.
got off the couch. I mean, he didn't say it like me, but you know what I'm saying? He
Yeah. Yeah.
said
Yeah.
the biggest business, the biggest resource of businesses that never got started are in the graveyard. Basically, he
Isn't
was,
that a shame?
yeah,
Just waste. It's waste.
because people were
It's a
too
waste of life.
fearful
Mm-hmm.
to jump out and do it and try it, I mean, or had a bunch of excuses. I don't have the money. I don't have this. I don't have that. But a lot of times when you map out your plan and
Mm-hmm.
you decide what you want to do in life, manifestation comes as you move, as you're
Yes,
slowly
it
going.
does.
Yes, the connections, the resources, things that you need for that dream or that vision to come to life as you're moving forward towards it. Yeah, you may not have the money to start off with, but you keep tweaking it, you keep figuring out a way to, try to make it happen. Eventually, it manifests and connections come and money will come your way for that
Right.
dream or for that vision.
Yeah.
Um, so definitely, I constantly am trying to encourage people. There's no reason to sit down on your dreams and goals.
Exactly. Exactly. Literally things will come to you. That's again mindset. Thinking positively, and I'm not saying that that's you have to take the action to do the things that are required to get you there, but you also start with I'm going to think positively about this and draw everything to me, and that's exactly what happens. The universe just comes into alignment, you know.
Right. Right. That's great. Now, going back to your clients, what are your hopes that your clients will gain from your business that they might not gain or find someplace else?
Very good question. So, what I want from my clients is success of reaching their goal and then also learning because we're personal trainers. As much as I like to have clients, I do have clients that we've had since the beginning that are still clients. Um, and I love that. But I also want them to have learned
Yeah.
because I'm training you to do something. That means you should be learning something. So being able to learn that and then impart it to other people is going to expand our influence.
Right.
So learning, first of all, finishing their goal, achieving their goal, learning how to also impact other people. But in addition to that, I want them to become the best version of themselves.
Yeah.
I want them to say, I've accomplished this. I'm a better person. I'm more confident.
Yeah.
That really does. It impacts them, but that's where our impact comes from. It's like, wow, you are going to be a better person. You're going to go out and serve others and do the same thing that we're doing. So That's my goal. It's my goal.
Right. Right.
To
That's
touch
great.
everybody's lives.
That's right. Hey, because the world is big,
Yes. Yeah,
definitely
it is.
for us to make a lifestyle of it.
Right.
What you're sowing into others and you're pouring into others is not just for however long that plan is, but for a lifetime, you know.
Right.
So,
Yes.
hmm I love it. I love it. Um, we're about to wrap up here. I don't want to keep you too much longer, but I do want to know, how do you see your business evolving in the next couple of years? And what are the other areas or goals that you want to pursue within your business, or even outside your
I
business? You want to share what?
right. So I would love to just see us expand globally, really impacting. I would really love to, for my husband's sake, to be able to really impact people that are deployed. Um, he's been deployed so many times, so he knows what that's like. And, to have a resource back here at home would be my biggest goal for that part of the business. And then also just for us in life, being able to expand it and live anywhere. I want to be able to travel,
Oh yeah,
experience other cultures, and being able to do and carry my business to these places that I would like to go. That's really my goal. I want to be global. We have the capability to do it, so
right,
why not?
right,
And I think oftentimes people uh, limit themselves. I've seen that a lot. Being
right,
here in Goose Creek, South Carolina, there are people that haven't left Charleston area. It's like, you
right,
guys have no idea what's out there, and I love it here. But
yeah,
also, you really are going to stay in the same place physically and mentally, and that's you're missing out on so much.
right,
And life has so much to offer. So that's why I want to be everywhere all the
right.
time.
I love it. I love it. I believe that you need to dream big. You know,
Yes.
the the bigger the better. Our
Hmm.
problem is that we dream too small.
Yes.
Too small when we can have the world. If we you pursue things and you believe and you have the faith that you can
Yeah.
do it, you know, you can have it. You can have what you want, but once again, it starts with that mindset. You got to have that right mindset, and you got to believe in yourself and what you're doing. You
That's
got to
huge right there.
believe in yourself and
Yeah.
what you're doing. You know,
Yeah.
and we got to move. We sometimes we just get too comfortable, and
Hmm.
I tell people all the time, sitting on that couch is going to be your worst nightmare, because
That's
that
true.
couch will keep you from fulfilling your dreams because you're too comfortable, and you know
You've
you
got
get
to stretch yourself.
you got to
You got to
stretch
stretch.
yourself and do what you need to do. There was
We've
something
had
that
a coach.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we had a coach once talking about how we do that comparison to other people, especially in the fitness world. There's so many, you've got your fitness influencers on Instagram or whatever. And we're always talking about how we're comparing ourselves to others and how that's our competition. Fitness people, our competition is not each other. If you are a true fitness professional, you want everybody to be helped, and you can't help everybody, so that you know that that's why you partner with other people, because
Yeah,
you're like, okay, this person was going to reach this kind of people. As long as people are getting healthy, that's really the goal of a true fitness professional. Our competition is Netflix. Our competition is the couch, because that's what we're losing to. That's
yeah,
why in America we have this huge level of obesity and diabetes and whatever. That's where our competition is. It's not each other. It is literally
yeah,
just complacency and laziness.
yeah,
So what you just said was perfect for that.
yeah,
We've really got to stretch ourselves, get out of the comfort zone, and that's what improves everything.
yeah. Definitely, definitely. We have to find those things that motivated us before,
Yes.
to keep moving forward. And once again, it goes back to that discipline and that
Hmm.
consistency.
That's exactly right.
We have to. So that is great. Um, what keeps you motivated on difficult days? And what are the personal wins that remind you of why you started?
On difficult days, sometimes you have to take a break. You have to honor yourself to know when you're going down that rabbit hole of this is too much of a break. Um, I think just it really does come back down to discipline.
Yeah.
Knowing and having people depend on you. That if you make it so that other people are depending on you to do something, you're going to do it more so than if it's just up to you.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, some days we need a break, and I stress that one of my clients actually just this week, she was exhausted. She works in the evenings, so she's up until like 2 o'clock in the morning, but I see her at 10 a.m. So she was like, I really need a break. And I said, then take it. Sometimes that's exactly what you need is to be
Yeah.
rejuvenated.
Yeah.
You have to listen to your body. You have to listen to your mind same way. Just take that break. Know that that is going to be a temporary break. And then set small little goals that are achievable, smart goals, if you will.
Right.
And then um, and just go for it from there. It doesn't have to be an all or nothing thing. Um, but taking that break is really, really important. Whether it's just 10 minutes, even during the day,
Yeah.
sometimes it's just the day gets ahead of you and you're like, okay, I can't do anymore. Take a
Yeah.
10-minute break, breathe, just kind of clear your mind. And guess what? You're going to be refreshed. Getting out into nature is a really big way to do that. But refreshing yourself somehow, whatever it takes, hopefully it's a healthy way.
Right.
And then moving on, putting that behind you. That's really what it's all about is listening to your body and your mind, taking that break, pushing forward with small incremental goals. That's what I do personally. I don't think I've been into a space where I couldn't get out of it.
Okay.
Thankfully,
Yeah.
I'm sure that's a lot of people struggle with that. Um, but that's what it takes is to have something to look forward to or to for someone to be dependent on you to make that decision. So making those relationships that will create that need, if you will. Not that
Yeah.
I'm trying to get people codependent or whatever, anything like
No,
that,
no, no. Right.
but knowing that there's something that needs to be done and only you can do it is huge.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I totally get what you're saying because I often think about when we work for other people, we try to make sure we show up for our jobs. We're
Right.
very disciplined. We're showing up every day. We're consistent, even on our worst days, because we know that that is what's paying our bills or whatever at the time.
Right.
So as entrepreneurs, we have to have that same mindset for ourselves. We got to be disciplined for ourselves to show up, like you said, for ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
be consistent for ourselves so that we can succeed. We put so much into other people's dreams, but what about our own?
Right.
What about our own? And a lot of times we don't take the time that we need. One, like you said, take that break when you need it.
Mm-hmm.
We got to get that self-care in,
Yes.
and two, get put us first, put your business first, put your
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneurial goals first. And I'm preaching to myself
Yeah.
because when you're in corporate America, a lot of times you will put that company before your own dreams and goals, and you'll keep pushing your stuff back. And especially when you work remotely from home, your hours
Yes.
get longer. When you were in the office, you were 8 to 5, and
Right.
you may jump on a couple of hours later in the evening. But when you're at home, your hours go from
Excuse
7,
me.
8 to
Mm-hmm.
8, and it's like,
Yes.
you know,
all hours, all
All
hours.
hours,
And then
right,
you're like waking up in the middle of the night and you're like, oh my gosh, I got to do that whenever I get up. Yes, it's
right,
literally all 24/7,
right,
really.
right. And there has to be a point where we have to cut it off
Yeah.
and come back and regroup and think about ourselves and what
Mm-hmm.
we want in life. We want in
Very
life.
true.
I believe that the corporate job should really be secondary, and your dreams and your
Agreed.
family should be number one. You know.
Definitely.
So yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. And another thing that you hit on before I let you go, I love how you talked about community. I think that it's important as entrepreneurs to have that community, that when we have those struggles and we're going through those challenges, we can have supportive people there who can help push us along the way. You know, they can,
Very important.
yeah, they can be like, okay, girl, you've been sitting for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
When are you getting back
Yes.
in there? You know,
There's people that, yeah, are going to hold you accountable for that too. Yes, like that. If you don't, like, I remember one client I had, and I said, we ask whenever we're onboarding, how did you hear about us? And she told, it was a referral because most of our clients come from referrals, and we talked later, and she said, well, I was looking for a trainer, and I looked you guys up. Y'all aren't really advertising a lot. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Now we've got, that's what you need, is somebody to just say, well, you know what? I
yeah,
probably would have found you sooner if
yeah,
you were marketing this way. So definitely having people telling you
yes,
what's holding you accountable is really, really, really important. Yeah,
yes. I
for
love it.
sure.
I love it. Yeah. And that honesty, because that client was honest with you. Look, I don't know
Very
where you
much
guys
so.
are at. Well, what's
I
going
know.
on, which
We
is
were
great.
sleeping. Yeah. Yeah.
We're here. We're here somewhere.
Yeah. Promise. We are here. We are here.
Right.
So,
So, in closing, is there any encouraging words that you would like to share with our entrepreneurs out here, uh, encouraging them to stay focused or get started, don't quit, whatever you want to share with our entrepreneur world out here, our amazing friends?
basically everything you said. I have a postcard that was it was in a networking group that they sent this postcard out, and it is a depiction, like a graph chart of the entrepreneur's life, and it is showing that most people think that it goes like this,
Mhm.
but guess what? It isn't. It is. It's literally, you have the highest of highs and sometimes the lowest of lows. And when you are feeling in that low, you got to know it's going to go back up.
Right.
That's what you've got to understand, is you're going to have some really low lows, and know that, hey, guess what? I'm at the bottom. So guess what? It's getting ready to, something really big's getting ready to happen. Just
Right.
know that and stick with it. If you are passionate and you are serving um, somehow and making an impact in this world, then my goodness, please do not give up. You
Right.
are important, and you have value, and you were given that dream for a reason.
Yeah.
So you're doing yourself a disservice and the community a disservice by not following through.
Yeah.
So hang in there.
Yeah. I appreciate that. And I thank you so much for joining us today. How can people get in contact with you if someone wants the virtual, or if they want the home, or or the app, because you did mention the app?
That's right.
How can we get in contact with you? I'll definitely post it too. Um,
Okay.
yeah. How do we?
Basically, you can reach out to us primarily on our Facebook page, which is just Train for the number 4 Living on Facebook, or trainforliving.com. That's the easiest way to reach out to us. It has all of our contact information there. And we get back to you right away. We'd love to work with you if you're a good fit, as we mentioned before. We hope that we can help as many people as we can become the best version of themselves through fitness. So,
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much, Joy. It was great catching up with you. I know that you guys are going to continue to do awesome and great job out there in virtual world and the community. You know, working with people and regaining their health and wellness. It has been a pleasure. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and you have a wonderful, wonderful day.
Thank you, Latonia. It has been an absolute pleasure talking to you again, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you, thank you.
All right.
Bye.